Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Morning Markets from True Potential. Today, we'll be discussing the escalation in the situation between Russia and Ukraine and how that has evolved overnight. Today, I'm joined by Matt Henderson, and we'll bring to life some of the asset market moves that we've seen over that period. And Matt, do you maybe want to highlight just what we've seen in equity markets over the past 12 hours?
Yes, thanks, Jeff, and thanks for having me on this morning. So if we just look at some of the regional differences that we've seen, if we start with Asia overnight, China, that's actually sold off 3.2%. Japan fared slightly better, only off 1.8%. But then if we think about moving into the open of Europe this morning, we've seen actually quite a big regional difference between mainland Europe and what we're witnessing over here in the UK. So mainland Europe, that's off about 3.5% as of open this morning. UK faring slightly better at about 2.5%.
And why do we think that's the case? What's the difference between maybe what's happening in the UK market versus what we're seeing in broader European markets?
Yeah, great question, Jeff. In broader Europe, we're seeing those differences arise because of the importance of Russian gas and commodity supply, so the oil and gas supply into there. So as the sanctions that we're expecting to come through on Russia pick up, we're expecting to see lower supply come through. So it's having a much bigger impact on Europe than
and
what
I think
we're seeing in the UK.
It's important in that context that we touched on the podcast last week really about the importance of Russian gas, Russian oil to Germany in particular, where they import close to 50% of their oil and gas from Russia, and really an impact there on that economy.
Yeah.
And I suppose the other thing yesterday we heard about Nord Stream 2
Yes.
and that pipeline and the action that Germany were going to take there.
Yeah, so Germany have stepped back and sort of rectifying and getting that all sorted. So that's actually had a big impact on European gas prices. We've seen those pick up by about 42%, so a pretty steep jump there. But it's also fell through into Brent Oil prices, so that's up $103 now, so that's up 6% from yesterday.
And that probably takes us up to levels that we last saw around 2014 in terms of being up above $100 a barrel.
Yep.
And the thing there is it's unclear as to whether there will be a supply response from the likes of the US or the OPEC or OPEC Plus in terms of reducing or increasing some of their supplies into the market.
Yep.
And then if we think about it from another perspective in the multi-asset portfolios that we're involved in and that we run for our clients, clearly currency plays an important part in that as well. And we've seen quite marked differences in how currencies have behaved this morning as well.
Yeah, so we've seen the typical flight to safety, as you would call it. So a lot of strength in US dollar and Japanese yen, which are typically associated with providing investors protection in these times of uncertainty.
And the other area really then is thinking about the role that sovereign bonds have played. We spent a lot of time over recent weeks discussing the challenge of rising interest rates or rising interest rate expectations, changes to inflation and how that's caused sovereign bonds to weaken. But clearly we've seen a bit of a reversal in that as the political risk has certainly ramped up.
Yeah, we've seen the negative correlations of bonds and equities kick back in this morning, which is great for us to see in a multi-asset portfolio. So we've seen US Treasuries down about 8 basis points or so on the yield, UK gilts something similar around 6, and mainland Europe something similar 5 to the UK.
Thanks, Matt. And everyone, it is certainly a challenging time for asset markets, but we'll keep you updated in terms of the various different impacts that we're seeing over the coming days. Many thanks for joining us today.
Subscribing to the True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to the channel on your desktop or through the YouTube app on your phone and click the subscribe button. You can then press the notification bell symbol if you wish to be notified as and when new videos are released. Doing this is a great way to keep yourself updated with market developments and personal finance insights. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and we look forward to continuing to help you do more with your money.